What up, y'all? And welcome to another episode of the Pastrybear podcast. And today we're going to Barbados again, and we're with Chef Derio Boyce. How you doing, Chef?
I'm good, man. And you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Nice.
Definitely. I gotta tell you, I really appreciate you coming on today to share your story and to let our listeners know a little bit more about you and your culture. So we're gonna get into it. You know, I was doing some reading about you, and there's something about your on your Instagram that caught my attention, and it says cooking with love, and I was wondering what that meant. So if you could explain to us and tell us, what is cooking with love?
Well, Cooking with Love is a luxury cuisine. That's the name, Cooking with Love Luxury Cuisine. That is a company that I started 2018.
Right.
2019.
Right.
It started based off Granny. My grandmother, Gloria, she passed away. And she was the one who used to always say that her secret ingredient is love. So for me, you know, whenever I do something, whenever cooking, it's something that I'm passionate about. So I always add love in the mix. And I find, you know, when you cook from a place of love, you know, the food tastes better. You know,
Definitely.
it has more passion, it has more flavor, and you can tell that it's done with love. So that's where the Cooking with Love came from. And, you know, it's just like a culmination of everything that she would have showed me and the things that she would have done to show me the way in which to, you know, create that love in the food.
Right. So you would say that your grandmother is one of the persons that helped you to find yourself as a chef.
I would say both of them, because there's two. One passed away, one still alive.
Right.
And both of them would love, you know, as a boy, I was curious.
Right.
So I was always in the kitchen trying to see what's going on, you know, trying to see what's that she putting in, what gives the flavor, why it smells like this. So they would always encourage me in the kitchen, and they would show me what's going on, explain to me how it's done and why they do it this way. And a lot of the time, to be honest, you know, grannies don't cook with recipes.
Oh, no, they don't.
It's be a pinch of this and a dash of that, and, you know, you do it till it tastes right. So,
Right.
you know, it was some fun being in the kitchen with both of them, Gloria and Daphne, to be able to get that experience and the exposures at such an early age.
Definitely. I got to say, well, I think most chefs have their experience in the kitchen or introduction to the kitchen from a grandmother or a mother. You know, sometimes you get a father, but the majority of the time it's a grandmother. Maybe it's because in our culture, you know, the women are normally the ones in the kitchen. So, you know,
it's true.
It brings, but how does, you know, when you think about it, if the women are always in the kitchen, what sparked your interest to make you feel like, you know what, I want to learn to do this? Was it the smell? Was it just, you know, the way they were cooking? Was it the type of food? Was it the flavor of the food? What made you feel like you wanted to learn to cook?
For me, it was the joy after. Like, a great example as I think back, you know, it's funny because they would be in the kitchen and, you know, in the Caribbean it's hot.
Right.
So it's not like this is back in the day where, you know, the days were hot. You got all the windows in the house open and you're sweating. And they will be sweating, laboring over the pot, and you can smell the flavor and you know, yes, food coming, tastes good. We can get there. But then they would stand up after the food is finished. They would share the food. You know, you have your cousins and everyone home. So they would share the food. And then the sheer joy of just standing there and watching everybody eat and enjoy.
Right.
And it's like, for me, it's like, damn, I want to be able to give that to somebody, you know. I want to be able to share that joy. I want to be able to have that feeling that she has when I see her stand. And, you know, look like, yeah, I do something for my family. Everybody happy. Food is good. Everybody good. And that for me is something that made me interested in, you know, wanting to be a part of that feeling.
Right. Oh, definitely. That's interesting, because I can remember growing up, my mom always used to cook. I never really had an interest in cooking at all. You know what I mean? And honestly, my younger years, I always thought I would have became an engineer, you know what I mean? A mechanical engineer or electrical engineer. Maybe it's because my dad was an engineer, but I never had any interest in it. And luckily my grandmother was always there trying to push me into cooking. Like every Christmas, we always bake a cake
Yeah,
And I only do it because I wanted to lick the bowl, and that's it. You know what I mean? There was no other reason for me to even try to venture into the kitchen. And when I got to high school is when I was forced into it because there was nothing else for me to do. Every other vocational training was full. So I decided that, you know what? I am going to give this a try. But as soon as I'm done, I'm going to go to engineering school. And I did it. And, like I said, I passed it in high school. And when I finished, my grandmother got me into a culinary school. And that was the end of it. And when I got to that school is when I realized this is what I'm supposed to. I've never done nothing else. You know what I mean? So it's interesting when I hear the stories that people come up with and think where they tell us about how they got started and where everything is coming from. But I want to know, so when you felt that joy that everybody had based on the food, so the love that your grandmother was putting into this food, or your grandmother's, it gave everybody around them the joy, and that joy, you liked the way it felt. You decided that you wanted to take a venture into it. So what was your first step or the first move that you made to make yourself a professional chef?
Well, it started, funny enough, right? Mm-hmm. I actually... I think that was in high school. When I finished my CXCs, I was waiting for the result.
Right.
But in the interim, what I did was, because I really wanted to go culinary school, and I also was interested in mechanics.
Right.
So my uncle had a garage.
Right.
So in the summer vacation, I would go down at the garage and, I would pick out the cars and learn stuff from him. So what I kind of did was, I said, all right, let me try this 2 ways. I really, really want to be a chef, but based on the results and how things goes, mechanics will be a good fallback. Because, in the Caribbean, everybody's like, you got a fallback plan.
Definitely.
So I applied for the Polytechnic to do auto mechanics and small body repairs or something like that. And then I applied to the Barbados Community College to do culinary arts, which is a 2-year associate degree program. Mm-hmm. And while I was waiting for the result, I said, well, you know what I'm going to do is we're going to toss this up 50-50. Because I really love the cooking, but if I don't get through with the cooking, I will still do the mechanics.
Right.
So I was just waiting for both of them to call. And funny enough, the Polytechnic had called. Mm-hmm. And I was excited, all right, let me see how this is going to go. So while responding to the Polytechnic, I had that kind of feeling man, is this what I really want to do though? Am I going to be on the cars, for the rest of my life? Can I really, you know what I mean? Can I really be grimy with my nails black and hands bruised up and stuff? So it was kind of not too sure if that is the right way. Mm-hmm. So my friends started to get the calls for Palmering, and I didn't get my call yet. So I was like, all right, I guess if this is for me, I will get my call. If it's not for me, I'm not going to get my call. And I mean, after everybody got their call and everybody, cause when you get the call, you also have to go and do an interview. So everybody went up and they told me they get their call and they did the interview. And I started to feel bad because, I was still waiting for the call. I didn't get the call. So I was a bit thrown, So I said, okay, I guess mechanics it is. And then I got the call. I went, I did the interview, and I never felt so excited to get started on a new journey. So it was like, yes, this is it. I get the call. I went, I got the interview, did the interview, and then after, how'd it go again now? I think after what they do, they send you the book list and everything. So when I realized it was a very expensive venture, because the book list alone, the tools, in terms of the knives and stuff. Right. And it was whoa. So, my parents were, this is an investment and this is something that you have to take serious. And if you're going forward in this, that this is something that you're going to have to apply yourself. Mm-hmm. So from that point is where I actually got my first step. So I did my associate's degree in culinary art. And then after I got that back, the second step was I applied for the Disney International Program. Mm-hmm. So after I was waiting for the program, you apply, there's a process, you do a couple of interviews, and then you would know whether or not you were selected. Okay. So I went through the process, and I was working at a place called the Almond Beach Village. That was a place in Spikestone, Barbados.
Mm-hmm.
So I was working there, and then I started to work there, and I got the call that Disney was a go-ahead. So that was basically right out of culinary school.
Right.
Straight over to Orlando.
Right.
So that was the first and second step. And getting to Orlando, man, that was, I was what, 19?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
so it's like a big culture shock.
Man, let me tell you. Because I traveled before.
Right. But it's different when you're going to work.
Now, correct.
Yes.
So it's like you're traveling with a purpose. So before it was just leisure and fun, you know, you don't have to take things serious. And you got the elders, your mom, your dad, and you got your parents that usually take care of things.
Right.
Now here's a situation where you basically now finish college. You're still having fun as a youngster. You know, you're doing your thing. You're not so much so focused.
Right.
And you're thrown into a situation where it's like, hello, this is the real world now. This is reality.
You got to pay rent. You got to find transportation. You got to be on time for work. All of these stuff are coming in now.
Correct. And I mean, like, the hardest thing was understanding that, like, for me, what I learned a lot with that exposure was the being reliable. Because when you sign the contract and you say, yes, this is what you're going to do, I mean, it's expected that you will do it. So there's no celebration when you do it. There's no, yay, good job, you know, because you do what you said you were going to do.
Right.
I mean, it's a contract you sign. So therefore you're saying that you acknowledge this is what is required of me and this is what I'm going to give.
Definitely.
So, I mean, there had times, man, where there were thunderstorms. A guy got struck by lightning at the top of our gap.
What?
And where we usually go to catch the bus. The police and everything was around there. And you know what? I mean, in the Caribbean, it would have been a full spectacle.
Yes.
Everyone would have stopped and
stop their life just to see what's going on.
Overseas, yellow tape, police deal with that. You get your bus and you get to work.
Listen, man, this whole culture and like people in the Caribbean are more caring and they're more loving and nurturing. Like over here, you see somebody on the highway with a flat tire. Nobody's stopping to even ask if you're okay. It don't matter if it's a woman or a man. So
doesn't matter.
It's a rude awakening when you move to America or anywhere. Yep. You know what I mean? It's a different climate. You know what I mean?
And we come from a culture where there's like, you know, there's a form of brotherhood. There's a form of family. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks out for somebody.
Right.
I mean, you know, they have the slight differences, but overseas is so shocking. It's like dog eat dog. Mm-hmm. You know, look out for yourself.
Yep.
I mean, you could be running for the bus. And if you're over there, like the bus driver can see that you're running to get the bus.
And he'll still drive off.
And he'll still keep driving. It's like, seriously?
And I see that all the time when I'm on the road. Like, even older folks, they'll see trying to get to the bus and they'll just drive off. It's like they don't care about nobody in this place sometimes. Yeah. You know?
And that's one of the things that I learned when I first came over there, man.
Right.
Pastrybear TV.